Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this live broadcast of the Vic Hellard Jr. Award presentations for 2015 and 2016. My name is David Byerman. I serve as Director of the Legislative Research Commission, and in that role I serve as one of the successors for Vic Hellard, a revolutionary leader in the world of the Kentucky legislature who shepherded this organization from being an organization that was very much in the thrall of the governor and dependent on the executive branch, to being fully independent. And it is that sense of legislative independence, of pride in the work that we do here at LRC that we're presenting this award today. We are celebrating the legacy of a man who served as director of LRC for almost 20 years and retired in 1995. It's big shoes for me to fill as director, but I can tell you, I feel a special kindred spirit with Mr. Hellard and with the directors who have come before me. All of us are proud of the legislative process. We're proud of our staffs who do such an extraordinary work for us here at the legislature. And we're very pleased that the Vic Hellard Award has been redesignated by the Legislative Research Commission away from being an award for the community at large and more from being an award for LRC employees themselves. I'm standing here in front of the Kentucky Capitol. If anyone is not a person who lives here in Kentucky or has not been here to Frankfort, I can tell you, I have to admit I'm kind of a legislative nerd. I've been to over half of the capitals in the country, and the capital we have here in Frankfort is comparable to none. It is an extraordinary facility and a beautiful building. We're going to go in there in just a couple of minutes. But right behind you here, I want to actually point your attention to this building that's right on the other side of the street. This is the Legislative Annex, and this is actually where the vast majority of the work of the Kentucky legislature occurs. And it's actually where 2 out of our 3 nominees for the 2015 award, work and are working right now. The Annex is probably where 80–85% of our LRC employees work every single day. It's where all of our committee meetings take place. It's where all of our legislator offices are located. The Annex really represents the nuts and bolts of the legislative process. This is where the action is at, and this is where the lion's share of the work occurs during these waning days of the Kentucky legislature. Let's take a walk inside the Kentucky Capitol, and while we're walking, I want to tell you a little bit about the Vic Hellard Award itself. We actually went to the Legislative Commission about 6 months ago and proposed that this award, that had really sat vacant for a couple of years, be redesignated to recognize the employees who work here at LRC. And we're very gratified that they approved that proposal. So we started a process a couple of months ago where we asked for people from the community, whether they be legislative staff, legislators themselves, or members of the general public, to submit their nominations for who they believe is worthy of this distinction. And I have to tell you, the nominations that we received, easy in this day and age to be cynical about government. There are certainly, I must admit, some public sector employees who fill the stereotype of what a government employee is supposed to be. But when you sit down and you read all of these nomination letters from different people, talking about how inspirational our employees are, it really puts things in a new perspective. And I think if you're a Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative, we can all agree there are some extraordinary people who work here at the Kentucky legislature. And literally, this process could not work in a compressed 60-day time frame if it wasn't for the preparation work that our staff does and for the extraordinary service that they perform. So a couple of months ago, we announced we were going to create this new award or redesignate this award, and we specified certain criteria. We said that the nomination letters should indicate how the candidates of excellence in serving the commission with skill, dedication, professionalism, integrity, and dignity. We asked in these letters for people to demonstrate a clear vision and understanding of the role and responsibility of legislative staff in strengthening and upholding the institution of the legislature. I think I had my own George W. Bush moment there, trying to open a door. The fourth criteria was we asked people to demonstrate how candidates provided distinguished service in the Kentucky General Assembly with a spirit of commitment, caring, generosity, honesty, and humor. The fifth criteria was to demonstrate an appreciation for the legislative process and its integral relationship to preserving the principles of legislative representative democracy. We asked letters to specify how candidates made exceptional professional contributions through facilitating public dialogue, informing citizens and decision makers, and embracing civic engagement. And finally, we asked in these letters for candidates to demonstrate a clear vision of the role and responsibility of legislative staff and the need for supportive and collaborative teamwork in strengthening and upholding the legislative branch. All of our candidates certainly fulfilled all of those criteria. For the 2016 Vic Hellard Jr. Award, we had 3 nominees. The 3 nominees were Joyce Honecker, who served on the legislative staff from 1971 to 2003. She was the committee staff administrator for the State Government Committee. She was one of the founding members of the National Conference of State Legislatures Research and Committee Staff Section, RACS. In 1987, she served 2 terms as its chair. In 1997, she was awarded with one of NCSL's highest honors, the Legislative Staff Achievement Award. Her nomination letter said that she was, quote, a role model for both new and veteran LRC staff alike, and an invaluable source of knowledge, inspiration, and encouragement. Our second nominee, Ginny Wilson. Ginny was a committee staff administrator here, and she served in various senior roles in the management for LRC. She was the chief economist and staff administrator for program review. She was deputy director for LRC in 2006 for research and finance. And she was, when she retired from LRC in 2009, I think one of the reasons why she was nominated, she went on to continue to serve the community. She worked at the University of Kentucky. She was a professor there, part-time professor until 2015. She also served on the consensus forecasting group. And I think I share a special affinity for her because she was committed to engaging in national organizations and very involved in NCSL. In her nomination letter, Ginny's nominator said her career, quote, epitomizes what Mr. Hellard stood for and what this award is about. Her working life has been about public service. Through her wisdom, work ethic, and compassion, she not only does great work on her own, she makes those around her better. Our third nominee is Scott Payton. Scott was with the Public Information Office here at the legislature for almost 20 years. He was our Public Information Officer for 9 of those years. He was a gifted writer, the recipient of numerous newscasting awards from the Kentucky Association of Government Communicators. There was a 2012 column in the Courier-Journal, and that column said that he was, quote, scrupulously fair and balanced, telling the story of the legislature in an elegant and entertaining way. His nominating letter was written by his successor, and that nominating letter said, quote, he taught by example a commitment to nonpartisanship and the belief that we were doing worthwhile, inspirational work. You know, here in the center of the Capitol in Kentucky, we have a statue of Abraham Lincoln. And I can't help but remember back in the Gettysburg Address, he talked about the concept of a nation, of a government, of the people, by the people, and for the people, not perishing from this earth. When the nominating committee looked at the candidates for the Vic Hellard Award, we took those words to heart. And I'm very proud to announce today that given his extraordinary service in communicating about the legislative process, of bringing that process to the people in an engaging way, we could think of no better recipient of the award than Scott Payton. Scott, congratulations on behalf of all of us here at LRC. I think you fulfill the legacy that Mr. Lincoln, one of Kentucky's favorite sons, brought to our country. And your ability to communicate about this process is something that we hope to emulate in the future. Let's walk over back toward the annex. But first, before we leave here, I want to introduce you to one of our candidates for the Vic Hellard Award that's here in the Capitol. Sheila Mason, you know, you don't want to use the word institution very flippantly, but I have to say, Sheila Mason is an institution here at LRC. She has been in a variety of senior leadership management roles here. Right now, she is busy, hard at work, compiling the legislative legislative record for everything that goes on here in the state capitol. We are 3 days away from the end of at least this segment of the legislative session. We're in day 57 out of a 60-day session, and every single thing that is done here at the legislature has to be reported in the legislative record. Now, that's published as a newspaper here, but it's also online for everyone to look at for all posterity. In addition, and perhaps even more importantly, Sheila Mason runs our internship program. And I have to say, as someone who is very much interested in communicating how this process works to our young people, the internship program plays a really important role for us here at LRC. And it is through the eyes of those interns that I see this legislative process sometimes. They are full members of our team. They are fully committed to learning all that they can by doing here at the legislature. And Sheila, in her role, serves as their voice, but also serves as their champion. And there is today a network of hundreds of people here at LRC a network of hundreds of people in the Commonwealth of Kentucky who have very fond memories of their time here in the internship program. And there are a dozen people here working at LRC who were first introduced to this organization through Sheila Mason's important work. Her nominating letter included this memorable quote: "She embodies the effect that the political process has on each citizen's life and personifies the importance of active involvement in participatory democracy." Sheila Mason means a lot to me and this organization. I truly consider her a kindred spirit, and I'm really pleased that she was nominated for this important award. As we walk across the street here to the annex, I want to talk a little bit about what we hope to do here at LRC. Making this public award in a very public way via Periscope is a little bit like walking across a tightrope with no net, you know. We're taking a little chance here, and we're hoping to do so in a way that engages the public, because this is the people's branch of government. We are not successful as an institution if we don't have the public actively engaged. And I can speak very confidently on behalf of the legislators here at LRC that we want people to be engaged in this process, that we need people to provide their input on the important topics that are being debated here at the legislature every single day. As we move forward as an organization, it is my hope that everything we do here at LRC will be filtered through the prism of public participation, of the participatory democracy process, of getting people engaged and educated about the process. We live in somewhat troubled times where a lot of people are very cynical about government. And I think that the best way to overcome that cynicism sometimes is to be a little more public about the process itself. And so if we can engage with people and let them know how this process really works, the incredibly long hours that are worked not only by our staff but by our legislators too, I think it'll help to overcome some of the cynicism that unfortunately occurs throughout our society when it comes to government. Right now we're in the throes of budget negotiations here at the legislature, and right down this hall, you can see a little gaggle of people down there, right down this hall, that's where the Budget Conference Committee is meeting right now. The Conference Committee is going through the differences between the House and the Senate budgets, and they're looking at the comparison document, trying to see where they can negotiate one way or the other. In the middle of those negotiations right now is Jenny Bannister, our second nominee. Jenny was referred to in her nominating letter as, quote, "a remarkable individual that many agencies respect because they know that Jenny understands the complexities of all branches of government." Always a concerned individual, her letter continues, Jenny has proven that she will take time from her busy schedule to share the work and plight of others Certainly, the duties associated with working at the LRC demand a special type of person, and few could compete with the likes of Jenny. Her selflessness permeates throughout the agency, regardless of whether or not she's identified as the source. It is a really stressful time here. We have people in the budget review staff who are literally, without exaggeration, working 100-hour weeks right now. And that is because of the specialized nature of their work. It takes a special person to be able to bridge the technical part of that job in budget review with the more human side of the equation, and being a good friend and coworker and being supportive and setting the right tone. And it is for all those reasons that Jenny Bannister was nominated for this award. And that happens here at LRC all the time. We have people throughout the agency who are doing what they do in a spirit of selflessness and a spirit of how they can help. People don't complain very much. And they do this in a spirit of humility and a spirit of service for the legislature itself. And it's truly inspiring for all of us. Our third nominee for this award is Sally Everman. School program. You want to talk about a way to engage with the public and give people an opportunity to learn about this process from an early age. The Back to School program brings this process to elementary schools across the country. And she really took a leadership role with that. She was actually nominated by one of her fellow finalists. And in her nomination letter, she said, "We dare say that one can be challenged to identify an LRC staff person who has done more to boost the public's appreciation for and confidence in LRC staff than Sally Everman." Sally is the bright spot in many people's day here at LRC, with a long line of legislators, staff, lobbyists, and executive branch agency personnel often stopping into our office just to say hi. To me, that expresses what the Vic Hellard Award is all about. It's about being a friendly face. It's about being able to do your work with humility and cheer. And it's about truly making a difference for the people of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. So with all of that being said, and here she is at work right now, Sally Everman.
Oh.
It is my great pleasure to announce that you are the official 2015 award winner of the Vic Hellard Award.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We're very proud of you.
Well, thanks. Thank you.
We truly appreciate all the work that you do
thank
here.
you. The help I get from my people, I appreciate Vic Hellard, Naomi Kitchen, because they're the one who hired me, but also staff, my family.
To come and help us to celebrate all of our finalists for both the 2015 and 2016 awards at the Capitol tomorrow on the second floor at 12 o'clock. All of our staff are invited. Sally, congratulations.
Well,
Scott, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And on behalf of all of us here at LRC, thank you for all that you do to make us all so proud.
Like I say, there's a lot here, and we're all here to work together. So that's what I try to do.
Exactly. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much to everybody here at LRC.